So it was very good to like reflect on how lucky we are to be in Australia and so far away from that conflict, because it was really interesting talking to people in Jordan about just how much their lives have been affected by like a war that's not even theirs. And they are all so wary of what's happening. And it was the time that Qatar was bombed. I was in Jordan for that and just like seeing the reactions, like how much it impacts everyone. Whereas in Australia, we're just in this bubble and we're so far away from all of it. We just get to go about our lives, which is like great to reflect on how grateful I am to live here and how lucky we are to live here and to like just feel safe.
Welcome to the Get Rich Slow Club podcast. I'm Anna and I'm here with Tash. And this is a fun episode because we get to talk about our reflections of 2025, what we achieved, what we didn't achieve, and essentially just how we thought about this year. But before we do, money win, money loss, Tash?
Money loss, but also happy to have the money to pay for this. I didn't sleep as much as I should have last night and I was running a bit behind this morning. So I got an Uber to the podcast studio because my boyfriend has the car and is doing something else with it. So money loss for being a bit lazy and not leaving earlier to get the train, but money win, having enough money to just be able to get an Uber.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. Similar, I drove to the studio, whereas often I'll just take the train because it's cheaper and I get to do work on the train. But yeah, I could just pay for the gas and go and listen to my podcast and get here. But my money win that I wanted to actually say was that you bought my mocha for me today.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was really sweet. I have to just remember to shout next time for you.
Yes, money wins all around.
Money wins all around.
All the things.
Amazing. So 2025 was a big year, especially for you. I think like 2024 was a huge year for both of us because we wrote our book and we did our book tour and there was a lot going on. So this is kind of the aftermath of that. And I know it was a huge year for you, a little smaller year for me, but let's kick it off.
I feel like this year has gone so quickly and I feel like I say that every year, but this one actually just flew by. It's crazy that we're recording this in December now and it's just crazy.
Yeah, where did the year go? I feel exactly the same way, but for completely probably different reasons than you.
I've got a few notes, but I thought I would just go through my calendar and we'll just talk about like what we were doing every month maybe. So in January, I was in Perth, which is very fun. And then I came back to Melbourne. I went to Bali twice in January and February. I think I went just for like a holiday I'd booked and then I went for a friend's birthday, which was cool. Then in March, I went on like one of those bucket list trips that I've been talking about for ages. So I did the Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda trip, which was really, really awesome. I got tagged with the gorillas. So that was a bucket list moment for sure. March, I got back. I went to the Grand Prix in Melbourne, apparently. I'd forgotten about that little thing as well. And then I had a few more interstate trips. How was your first quarter of the year?
Yeah, I hit burnout. I hit burnout at the end of 2024. So starting this whole new year, I was just burnt out, to be honest. My mom was visiting me, so that was really fantastic. I actually got to do really lovely like family stuff.
I forgot she was here. That was so lovely. I remember meeting her. Was she in like the city with us one time?
At the train station we met. Yeah. So she's so cute. She was like, "Oh, Anna talks so much about you." Like she was so
wholesome.
Yeah, she's a wholesome little cute old lady. So she came to visit and that was really nice for my kids to actually have her around. And so I spent a lot of the kind of like January, summertime just with family time and my kids started school. So that was like a whole new thing as a parent to be like, I don't have to pay for childcare, but also like my kid is growing up.
And the scheduling with that has seemed to be really crazy. Like so many things to navigate there with like, yes, they're growing up. And also now I have to think of two separate schedules completely.
Yeah, I have to do two different drop-offs, two different pickups. Even with you, I'll have to talk about, do I have after school care? What days we can do the podcast and when I have to pick my kid up at 3:30. So there's a lot of logistical things, but to be honest, because I hit burnout, it allowed me to kind of slow down and be like, I'm just going to enjoy this time because now my kid's in school. So I don't have those days where we can be home on a Wednesday, you know?
Oh, how do you feel about that?
I don't know, both, like all of the above. You kind of like mourn the life that you have, but I'm also very excited about the future. I'm more of like not a baby person. You know how some people like love babies? Like I've found the first like 4 years like very hard. So I'm excited for my kid to grow up and have like really cool conversations. Like my kid's really cool. I mean, everyone says that about their kid, but
you have some cool kids.
Yeah, it's fun. Whereas I'm also trying to enjoy the time with the little one because I felt as though, you know, I was maybe more of a neglectful parent because I was writing 2 books. I definitely was a bit like in burnout and depressed. I had family members that had really bad health issues that I had to navigate from abroad, and that did a mental that was hard mentally. So I just think like right now, the beginning of that year was just, I just want to enjoy, reset, and just like love life. And I needed to like find the way that I love life because I was just running. And now I had to stop. So I would hear about your beautiful trips and stuff and I'd be a little bit jealous, but I'm also like, I like my staycation. I like doing drop off and pick up.
And you're like having so much fun on like your nature walks and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Like we've talked about the seasons of life are so different. And I've had those amazing trips and travels. And now I just want to have slow life.
Do you look back on that, the start of the year, fondly? Do you think you kind of got back what you were looking for in terms of being more present, spending more time with people?
Yeah, I did. I think this year I wanted to intentionally be more present. I wanted to be healthier because I think I really neglected my health. And I just wanted to enjoy life again. I think there was a lot that I like lost in that enjoyment. And that first quarter, a lot of it was also planning to go back to Canada. Or actually, that's a lie. I was going to go to Europe and visit my family in Europe.
Oh my God, I can't believe, I forgot all this stuff had happened. Yes. Yeah. That was this year. Yeah,
that was this year. And I had a family member have a health issue and then we weren't going to meet up in Europe. So I had to change my trip to Canada. And so it was like logistically changing these things, but also enjoying the motions of like planning. There's so much to be said about planning for something, like planning to go somewhere or travel somewhere. You get really, really excited. And sometimes when you're there, you're like, okay, I'm in the moment. But that anticipation is a really nice thing.
Yeah. It seems like you had lots of fun as well. Were you staying with your cousin or something? And you were like, we got Airbnbs together.
Yeah. So anyways, that was the first part of my year was like very slow and I'm okay with that.
Yes, I'm a little bit envious listening to that now.
You're like, I traveled everywhere.
I was not slow.
And I'm like, staycation.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like a year behind you in the burnout stage where I'm like now feeling very tired and very over stuff a little bit, but it's still like so many fun things have happened this year.
Yeah, it's also the end of the year, so it's easier to hit burnout at the end of the year, I think.
Something I did, I think it was in March, maybe April, I hired my first full-time team member to kind of help me do all like the little admin-y tasks and lots of different stuff. Because I feel like what I do now is really fun, but there is so much to think about all the time and you can't really defer to people unless you hire people to defer to. So that's been really awesome having her around. Mm-hmm. April, I went to Singapore because I found some really cheap flights. I forgot about that trip as well. Crazy.
Too much travel. You can't even keep up with all of it.
I just feel like it all like not blends in, but like the years kind of blend in where it was like, I thought that was like maybe last year, not this year. I went to Vietnam because those flights were on special as well with Jetstar. I feel like they were like only $400 return. I spent some time in Perth. And I think that was the second quarter is when I put in the offer to buy my house as well.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
That feels like ages ago now too, right?
Yeah. I feel like it was back in May or something. I put the offers in. I can't remember exactly, but it was earlier in the year. And it just happened so quickly.
Yeah. So that time of year as well, I think I was also focusing on donating quite a bit to organizations that I felt aligned with. A lot of them are humanitarian or Doctors Without Borders. There's a lot of warfare happening in the world and I'd love people to be supported. So that was like a focus at that time. I was feeling very empathetic, I guess, like with everything going on. And that was when I went to Canada. So I traveled to Vancouver. I also went up to Alaska, which I don't think I talked about at all.
No. So you went on a cruise?
I went on a cruise, with my dad and his partner, which was great. But I also felt very conflicted because I didn't want to go to the States and support their economy with like tariffs. And the way they were treating Canada at the time was very controversial. So I felt very awkward about it. And it made me realize how you sometimes have to bend your ethics for other people. Like that's honestly what it felt like. Like I know that my partner and I would not have gone to the States, but because it was like our family being like, this is a way for us to all hang out, I kind of had to do that. So it made me think about investing in the same way where sometimes you're investing in companies you don't really align with, but it is very hard to kind of like divest. And how do you become a conscious consumer and a conscious investor ethically? It's hard.
It's such a good point because I think there's a lot in terms of just like whether you prioritize money or ethics or the relationships and how that sits. Because sometimes even like on a smaller level, if someone invites you to something and you don't want to spend that money, either you just do it anyway because you want to spend time with the person or you say something and maybe cause a bit of a conflict sometimes. So it's like, it's such an interesting reflection.
I was reflecting about it a lot because on one side, it's great. We're like sleeping in the same boat. We're next to each other. We're eating together. No one has to clean. No one has to cook. Like it's so great. But it's like, I just don't want to travel.
Yeah, but then it's such limited time with some people as well. You're like, you have to make the most of it, especially if they live on the other side of the world.
For sure. And it was not the ideal trip. Like looking back, it was a very challenging trip with 2 young kids. My family got very sick. Not my family, but like my dad and his partner got very, very sick. It was, and lots of retirees on a boat with little children running around is the most stressful thing ever. So that's also the added issue on top of that.
Do you look back on that fondly still? or as a stressful memory?
Both. I think it's like, I've never been to Alaska before. I've been to the Yukon, but not to Alaska. So it was great to be able to see glaciers and have that time, but it was like absolutely stressful. And it's funny how like time changes your memories or the thoughts on that. Like I was actually asking my kid in the car today, I was like, how much do you remember about Canada in our trip? And the cruise came up and I was like, oh, and he's like, can we go again? That was so fun. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
Wild. Do you know how much money that cost?
But do you know how stressful that was?
That was so stressful. But also at the flip side, like this is what memories are for. And I'm glad that I can build that for my kids. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I think about like things that happened when I was a kid and I was like, oh, that time of our life was so fun. And then my parents like, oh, was it? But it's so good that as a kid, you're like, everything's so much fun. I get to hang out with my parents and hang out with my family and hang out with my brother. But
yeah, for
the
sure.
adults in the family are like, God, no.
Yeah, that was like so stressful. It's like, but I had so many older ladies, retirees, like be like, that's very normal for those kids. Meanwhile, my kids are like climbing on like random furniture. Yeah. And then other people gave me the stink eye, but
that's okay.
What
you
are
have to experience the world. If they remember it, that's awesome. I love that. I feel like, that quarter was just a lot of me traveling as well and doing regular work stuff. What about the third quarter of the year? Oh my God, I feel like the last 3 months have gone so fast. I feel like I was just in Egypt, but that was actually in August, September.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I know. You blink.
Third quarter. I went on another bucket list trip because the flights were super cheap with China Southern or China Eastern. I think it was $1,200 return from Melbourne to Egypt. So how can you not go to Egypt? We did the pyramid stuff. We went diving with dugongs for the first time. That was exciting. I've wanted to see a dugong forever.
You've been wanting to do that for ages.
Yeah, they're so hard to find in some places. That was amazing.
Did you know that was that you would see them there, or was it?
I was hoping.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Fair.
There's like a few that live in that spot, but it's like it's so hard to find them. So I was hoping, and you never know with ocean stuff, they could just be doing whatever they wanted that day. Because we were kind of just like trolling around, hoping it might pop up for a breath as you look at the right spot of the ocean. Yeah. So it's quite lucky when you see them. That was amazing. I also went to Jordan by myself, which was really, really, really great. There's not many tourists at the moment. So that was like really sad to see. And it was interesting to see the impact that things going on in the world has had on that country when they're kind of just awkwardly stuck in the middle of it all. And also very dystopian because I was down in like Aqaba and it borders with Israel and it's like maybe a 4-hour drive from Gaza. And it's just crazy that life is so normal. And of course, like it has to be normal for people who are living there who have like, they're just trying to live their lives. But it was a very like dystopian moment to be like, wow, it's crazy that's so close. These things can be happening and then people are just living their lives like this.
Yeah, you see it on the news, you see it on social media, like what is happening just a few hours away from you. And meanwhile, you're like sipping coffee and looking
it's like
at
a resort
touristy,
town.
Wild.
Yeah. So it was very good to like reflect on how lucky we are to be in Australia and so far away from that conflict. Because it was really interesting talking to people in Jordan about just how much their lives have been affected by like a war that's not even theirs. Mm-hmm. And they're all so aware of what's happening. And it was the time that Qatar was bombed. I was in Jordan for that and just like seeing the reactions, like how much it impacts everyone. Whereas in Australia, we're just in this bubble and we're so far away from all of it. We just get to go about our lives, which is like great to reflect on how grateful I am to live here and how lucky we are to live here and to like just feel safe.
Yeah, it feels very privileged to not have to worry about what's happening in the world, unfortunately, which goes back to, a feeling so helpless sometimes and wanting to donate. And I think the beginning part of this year, I still feel that way. We've talked a lot about this, about how our heart bleeds for like situations that are different to ours and how we want to give back in different ways. I remember talking to you about this and you being like, this is so wild.
So wild. Yeah. And so wild that we can just like choose to ignore it over here if we choose to and just like go about our lives.
And that's the hard thing because it affects us in so many different ways. We just might not see it directly.
And I feel so much for the people who like it's terrible what's happening and it's really terrible for all of those people, but also the ones who aren't directly involved and just how much it impacts the broader economies of these places because Jordan relies so much on tourism. And I think a lot of the airlines had suspended their flights to Jordan. So a lot of people from Europe weren't visiting if you can't get the direct flight. So it's just crazy to see like the ripple effects. And obviously if you look for it, like there's so many things going on, but it was interesting to just go and see that and be in a place where they're so grateful that you've still come to visit. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good trip though.
Oh, so good.
Would recommend.
It's so wild to think back a few months and I can't even think what I did. During that time, I think I like revamped my course. So I did Wealthy Families last year and I just kind of revamped it, renamed it, Future Proof Your Finances. I did that, did some money coaching. So I kind of I hit burnout and then I got out of burnout and was like, all right, what am I doing on the side? These are some of the ways that I kind of continue financial education on the side. So I kind of picked that up again, but also just at a slower pace. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to hit burnout again. And I was like, what is the fine balance? And I actually like loved life. Like we've talked about this.
Amazing.
But we've talked about this so many times. Like I'm so grateful. I get to work part-time at a company that I really feel aligned with. I get to do some of my own passion projects on the side. I get to spend time with my kids, with my partner. I get to, travel to Canada when I need to. These are such big things that are important to me and I can be grateful for. So yeah.
I love that.
I love it too.
One of my last final things, actually 2 more things. I got some of my like dream partnerships this year. Like Accor agreed to work with me, which is very exciting. Yes. So I've been talking about them for years and I've loved them. So that was really cool. But the second was I decided to start a new business next year. So I've spent the last month or 2 kind of figuring out all of that, which has been very interesting. So
we're talking about your last quarter now.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, we've jumped ahead a bit. Yeah. So I started a new business called Tash Lens, a mortgage broking company. And we're launching January 19th.
Oh, you have a date now.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed everything goes well.
Yeah,
but that's what we're working towards now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's a huge thing. This last quarter was also big for me. We finally debt recycled.
Yes.
So I've been talking about this for ages. That is probably the biggest lump sum I've invested. I mean, obviously it's collectively, it's like with my partner ever, but that's like a huge amount of money that I just kind of like, bonk,
amazing,
dumped into the stock market. And yeah, I've been talking about this forever. So I feel very excited about that. So that was a big financial win on that end. And what else did I do this quarter?
Oh, I have one sad thing. Well, not sad. I had to cancel my first trip because I was too busy. I was meant to go to Costa Rica in October. I can't believe October was so I can't believe it's 2 months since then. I feel like this just happened. But yeah, I canceled that trip because it was just like so much was going on. I literally didn't have the capacity to go anymore, which is a little bit sad, but making the adult decisions.
Yeah. This quarter as well, we got to meet up with the Perler crew and we all went to Kungara. We all hung out. And honestly, it just like warmed my soul to hang out with such amazing people, to be open about money, finances, business, all of those things. And that was like a huge highlight of this quarter as well for me.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be invited as well, which is very fun. But yeah, it's so wholesome to meet all the really lovely people because I feel like it's so easy to feel so disconnected from like, oh, it's just like this tech company and there's these random people working there and I've got no connection to them. But meeting all the wholesome people is so nice.
It is. It really, really is. We got to record some episodes and it was fun. There's also a couple other things that I forgot to mention that I've done. I've started a goal of selling $7,000 worth of things online.
How's that going?
So I'm not as far as I wanted to be. I'm about 1,300. So
amazing.
Like that's not bad. There's still so much that I want to sell and so many other things. I've just like lost momentum. I kind of got a bit tired at the end of the year, but I don't have a deadline on this. Maybe I should make it a SMART goal.
That's fine. Sorry to interrupt. I listened to the founder of KKK, speak last night, and she was saying she sets ridiculously really big goals and then she's not hard on herself when she doesn't reach it because at least you've gotten close to it. So it's fun if you've set the $7,000 goal and you still sold like $1,300 worth of stuff.
That's not bad, right? That was $1,300 that I didn't have, $1,300 that I could put in my offset that I'm going to invest later.
So her philosophy is just set massive goals and you'll get some of the way, and that's amazing.
Yeah, perfect. And I'll keep going because I know that I can sell more.
Maybe you need to set like a 50 grand goal. And then you'll sell the 7,000 instead.
50,000's a lot. I don't think I have $50,000 worth of stuff. But I mean, it's great that I'm doing it, and it's inspired and motivated a lot of other people to sell their stuff. So I get messages all the time being like, I sold these things and that's great. The other thing that I did is I planted a garden.
Oh, yes.
I know this sounds so silly, but it feels so good to cut your own lettuce and make your salad and be like, I grew this. So I've got like some spring onions, some lettuce. I've got tomatoes coming up, and I just saw my first cucumber.
Oh, yay, congrats.
Yeah, it looks like a pickle. It's so tiny. But the point is, I'm doing these little things that just make me happy, and that feels so amazing. I also just wanted to talk about my finances. So this is the interesting thing. I haven't been investing a lot this year because I'm working part-time, but we did debt recycle. So that's like a huge thing. And I was just wondering what my year-on-year return was.
Ooh.
Do you want to take a guess of what it would be? So I'll just give you like a couple things. Like my property has gone up a little bit, cash and money. Like my investments have obviously gone up. My super's kind of gone up. But what do you think my year-on-year return is? Like just take a guess.
I feel like it's going to be quite a bit. I feel like the year's been quite good, but has it been the whole year or just the last 6 months? Can't even guess.
Yeah, it's hard to guess. So I think last time I did this, it was around like 8%.
Yeah.
It was around 8%. So this time it's around 14%.
Yeah.
Wild.
Amazing.
Wild. And it's not so much that I've done so much, but it's just that I have money in the market. I have more money in the market now, and my house has gone up in value. And that's essentially the beauty of investing early and often. So there you go. 14%. Who would have guessed? I had no clue until I ran the numbers this morning.
Amazing. So good. Yay, the stock market just going up, and yay, other things going up.
I know, it's wild. And that's the thing, is like, just because it's 14% this year, last year was like 8%. The year before that, maybe it was less or more, or who knows.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I am just building wealth slow and steady. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
No, it's so fun when you look at it though, and it's actually started to do the snowball effect, and you've like put in the hard work, you've invested the money, you've bought the property, and now, yes, you've not invested that much this year or last year or whatever it's been, but you can still watch it and be like, wow, we made money.
Yeah. At one point, I know it was around like 9 years since I like first put a lump sum in, and seeing that double, I was like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
amazing.
Like my money doubled. I did nothing. My money literally doubled. So whether that's 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, like the fact that it doubled is wild to me.
Incredible. I think it's, such a good point where we feel like 10, 20 years feels like forever away, but then we sit here and reflect on how quickly this year has just whipped past. So I feel like it feels like it's too long away, but if you like, it'll be here before you know it, unfortunately, maybe fortunately.
Yeah, that's why you just get in the market, right? Like just do the things.
Do the things.
Yeah. And on that note, are you looking forward to anything in 2026?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've just been so busy at the moment. I'm trying to not think more than a month ahead at a time, which is not ideal for some things. But yeah, I haven't thought about next year for too long, because it just feels like this year shouldn't be over yet. Like I'm trying to wrap so many things up. So I haven't thought ahead. We'll have to maybe do a separate goals episode or separate like what I'm looking forward to episode. But gosh, nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Yeah, fair.
What about you?
No, I'm just, honestly, I've loved this year of being just cruisy. I often have like big goals that I want to do. And this year, I think we talked before, it was like, I have no goals. I just want to recalibrate, focus on my health and my happiness. And I really feel like I've ticked that. And I'm okay with the next year to be like that too.
Ooh, yeah, I'm still doing like a lot of stuff. And I think I'm just like a little bit mildly on edge about how much work things are going to be, because starting a new business is fun, but obviously it comes with a lot of work and like things can go wrong. And I've still got to actually learn how to run this business, which will be interesting. So I would love to go to like Kazakhstan and all those trips. And I'm just holding off to see how the launch goes and like how, like when I can take time off, because I don't really know. A bit of unknown.
Well, we'll see. I'm very excited for the new year.
Yay.
Awesome. And that's it.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club or Tash at Tash Invests, or me at Ana Cristina.
The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash Etchman from Tash Invests and Ana Cristina from Perla. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs, or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you. This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorized representative 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorized representative 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters, and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.